Well, certainly an absolutely horrific situation on the ground. Looking at Al-Shafa as the epicenter of these atrocities committed in Sudan, there has been a global condemnation about the situation. But here in Johannesburg, a very comprehensive seminar about the current conflict in Sudan. Joining us now is, of course, Professor Amira Osman, one of the organizers here. So once again, Prof, thank you so much for your time. You spoke at length about these atrocities committed and how the civilians are suffering from the people in Sudan. How's the current situation so far?
Thank you so much for caring about Sudan. As Sudanese, we have felt that Sudan has been very invisible in the global media, among activists. And it's a very sad situation that drew the world's attention to the Sudan, which is the massacre that happened in Al-Fashir in Darfur in the west of Sudan. I think the whole world has seen those atrocities. The whole world agrees it's a massacre and it's a genocide. And our current priority is to save the people on the ground that are going through this terrible, terrible situation. There was a lot of talk at this seminar today about politics, about the history, about who created the RSF or the Janjaweed militia. I believe that these are important conversations, but my priority now is the people on the ground. I take my cue from the people on the ground, from the people who have no voice. I do not represent any political party, and I actually think all political parties at the moment, for them it would be irresponsible to focus on narrow political agendas and to neglect representing the voices on the ground. The reality is people are terrorized by the Janjaweed militia. They are calling on people to intervene. They are calling on governments and global entities to assist them to escape the terror of the Janjaweed. And the only way that we can help them and support them is to put aside our political differences and to focus on their needs and what they are calling for.
And just once again, Prof, what can be done by the continental institutions, the United Nations? I mean, we've seen and heard from the Secretary General of the UN, Antonio Guterres, talking about, just a crisis of massive proportions underway in Sudan. But what can the global community do in really making sure that we do see long-lasting peace in Sudan?
I think it's incredibly important what's happening now is that the world and global entities are recognizing the Janjaweed as a terrorist organization. I think that the world is recognizing the role of the United Arab Emirates in what's going on in Sudan. And these are really incredible steps forward. We appreciate that. But as Sudanese, we do know that it came very late because what the Janjaweed have done in Al-Fashir, perhaps the scale of it is really terrible and the magnitude of it is huge. And the other thing is they documented these atrocities themselves, which drew the world's attention to it. But this has been going on in Sudan, in other regions in Sudan now since the start of the war in 2023. So global entities recognizing the role of the United Arab Emirates, recognizing the terrorist organization, that this is a huge step forward, but there need to be more clear condemnation. We were very disappointed in the statement issued by the South African Department of International Affairs by DIRCO. The statement issued after the fall of Al-Fashir to the Janjaweed did not even mention the RSF or their role in this. And I don't think that is good enough. So international organizations and agencies need to be very clear in their condemnation, and the weapons need to stop. The flow of, when we mention the United Arab Emirates, is to make a plea. I know that they get their weapons from the UK, from the USA, so many governments are complicit in this. So if the role of the United Arab Emirates is clearly stated, then at least there will be the global community overseeing the flow of weapons to the RSF via the United Arab Emirates.
All right. Prof, thank you so much indeed for your time. And of course, this is one of the key engagements to highlight a very untenable situation in Sudan.